The anime kicks off in a laboratory filled with animals being used as test subjects. Surprise, surprise, the place gets ambushed by a group calling themselves the Animal Liberation Alliance. The police show up to ask what these guys are up to, but quickly realize their gear is just cheap toys compared to the heavy artillery the masked youths are packing. Completely outclassed, the cops immediately receive a warning: don't move, anyone who steps out of line is toast. One of the intruders even claims he almost shot the wrong person, then apologizes profusely, saying he was so scared he nearly wet his pants. Right after that, the group successfully rescues all the animals in the lab. Before taking off, one guy boasts loudly that this alliance will put an end to the cruel experiments here. However, mid-hype, a member yells, "Wait, hold up a second, something is wrong." They find a baby chimpanzee that's been shot, gasping for air and covered in blood. Furious, they think this is also part of the experiment. Just as they are about to curse, they realize the chimp is having a miscarriage. If they don't act, both the mother and baby are done for. But life isn't a dream. Their teammates report that the cops have been called, and they need to skedaddle immediately. Desperate, one young man decides to carry the chimp with him, dropping a philosophy bomb that he can't leave a fragile life in the hands of people who treat animal protection laws like toilet paper. Scene change to a hospital. The delivery is a massive success, and the baby is born healthy. After examining him thoroughly, the doctor discovers the baby is a limited edition item, a cross between a chimpanzee and a human, called a Human-zee. The anime then drops some lore about the world, mentioning that in 1850, Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species and all that. Fast forward a few years, we meet Hannah, the woman responsible for raising the main character, Charlie, the hybrid youth. She is worried sick because her son disappeared into the woods and is about to be late for school. Hannah screams his name until Charlie appears, calling her mom and calling the guy next to her dad. Turns out Charlie was adopted when he was tiny and treated like their own biological child. Hannah tells him to respect everyone and tone down his behavior, no more swinging from branch to branch like usual. The dad asks if he's scared for his first day of school, but Charlie is nonchalant, believing today will be awesome. When they get to the school gate, Hannah worries again, asking if he's okay. They decided to send him here so he could have a normal life, make friends, and study like any other comrade. Before saying bye-bye, the mom tells him to behave, while the dad reassures his wife, telling her to trust their precious son. Just stepping into the school, Charlie steals the spotlight immediately. Rumors fly faster than fiber optic internet, people start calling him the Ape-man. Things get even more lively when they find out he's the son of Dr. Grossman and a chimpanzee. Curiosity levels max out when they learn he once visited the White House. Ignoring the noise, Charlie remains polite to everyone in class, treating the whispers and staring eyes like air. In another development, a group of girls thinks Charlie is super cute, saying if he had Instagram, he'd have 1 million followers. One girl suggests inviting Charlie to their group for some virtual living photos, and the whole group agrees. But a boy is scared, saying he'll pass, because he read somewhere that chimps can lift 300 kilograms, so if you mess with him, you're wrecked. Later, a bunch of students gather to watch the drama because a cat is stuck high up in a tree. The branch looks like it's about to snap. Some kids even suggest calling an ambulance or the TV station for the drama. Suddenly, a girl appears trying to be a hero and save the cat. Everyone tells her to stop showing off, but she ignores them. Her name is Lucy, known as the school nerd. Everyone watches to see if she can actually do anything. The cat is panicking, hesitant to trust humans, but then crawls closer. Suddenly, Lucy slips, but luckily she manages to hang onto the branch. The students below yell at her to get down, saying falling would be super embarrassing in front of everyone. The problem is the branch starts cracking, and Charlie, with ears like radar, spots the danger from afar. In a split second, he leaps through the window, catching both Lucy and the cat before tragedy strikes. The whole crowd is jaw-dropped, pulling out phones to record for TikTok because it was too magical. Before Lucy can even thank him, Charlie drops a calm line saying the cat is fine, then hands it back to her. That scene leaves everyone stunned. Some say he really looks like a chimp. One boy can't process it, saying a normal chimp couldn't even do that. This Charlie guy is like a creature from another universe. The scene shifts to the cafeteria where Charlie is eating lunch. Lucy gathers all her courage to ask if the seat is taken. Charlie hesitates a bit, then says sit wherever. Sitting down, Lucy brings up philosophy to chat, asking about a philosopher's question: what is it like to be a bat? How does a bat view the world? She concludes that to know, you have to turn into a bat. Charlie understands her point, tells her to ask away. Lucy confesses she wants to know if being a hybrid feels cool and if he sees life differently from normal people. Charlie replies that he always asks himself what it feels like to be human. Lucy is as happy as if she won the lottery, asks to be friends, and Charlie closes the deal. Then she explains she presented Charlie's situation to the school board to find a suitable place for him. Just then, 2 girls run up asking for a photo with Charlie. He says okay. They see his plate is full of veggies, asking if he doesn't eat meat. Charlie says he doesn't know if he ever has since his parents are vegan, so he just follows along. Suddenly, a guy named Aussie appears with a jerk attitude, starting to mock Charlie. The girls try to stop him, but Aussie is aggressive. The reason is his family's business is slow lately or something, so he's grumpy. Aussie drops a trap question: if you vegans love animals so much, if a rat with a terminal disease bites you, and only one life can be saved, what do you do? Charlie replies savagely, I kill the rat. Aussie is dumbfounded, saying he thought vegans considered rat lives equal to human lives. Charlie replies, if I don't kill it, I die, right? Aussie starts screaming for the whole village to hear, saying that in the end, vegans are no different from meat eaters. A blonde guy tells Aussie to get lost. Charlie ends the debate with the line, if you were the one with the disease, I'd send you to the scoreboard too. The group is shocked to the core by that answer. After school, Charlie sees his mom waiting, but upon seeing her, he turns his face and walks straight away. Lucy decides to tail Charlie, finally finding him kneeling to save a butterfly about to be eaten by a spider. Seeing that, Lucy is surprised and extremely impressed. Moments later, Charlie's mom arrives. He pretends to say he was just taking the spider's food away, but his mom rushes him, saying someone is waiting at home. As they leave, Lucy watches from afar, realizing Charlie is truly a gentle good boy. She says nothing. Just smiles secretly. Scene shifts to Charlie sitting in the car with his mom. She asks if the first day of school was fun. The boy looks clueless, like he doesn't understand the question. Then she asks if he made friends, hoping he didn't spend all day swinging on trees. Charlie says no, and the mother and son go home in silence. Next, the scene makes a hard turn to a location blown to bits, injured people everywhere. At the scene, there is a drawing of a monkey face and the signature of the alliance that caused the attack. Right after, we see a group celebrating the bombing. Someone mentions there might have been children at the scene, but the boss doesn't care. To them, this is just the beginning. War has been declared. And in war, there is no pity. Collateral damage is a daily occurrence. The boss steps up and asks how many animals were saved. The minions report they only have info on humans. Going crazy, he screams that only animals deserve pity. According to his logic, animals are born only to suffer and die at the hands of humans. Hearing this, the members start crying, sympathizing with the boss's pain. Later, a guy brings news. He says the explosion is viral on every web front and social network. Then he holds up a photo of Charlie and concludes, this kid is the next target. 15 years have passed, no more waiting. We must capture him at all costs to continue the war. End of episode 1. If you found this addictive, like and subscribe to the channel to wait for the next part. See you next week with the developments of this anime. Bye bye. Scene cuts to a group of boomers sipping iced tea on the sidewalk, peak via hey style. They're asking each other if they've caught that viral clip yet, you know, the one with that half-human, half-ape hybrid kid looking like a budget King Kong. The internet's dubbed him Charlie, aka the Ape-man, and word on the street is he's attending some low-key, mid-tier school nearby. But the real tea is that the Animal Liberation Alliance is making a comeback. One dude is completely clueless, so the other has to explain that they're the OGs who raided the lab 15 years ago to rescue Charlie. Once he realizes they're just a bunch of extremist activists, he's like, if they catch those clowns, they better throw him in jail or the psych ward. Both of them start wheezing and laughing their heads off. While the boomers are busy laughing, a mom and her family head out, but she realizes she forgot her hat. Her daughter volunteers to run back and grab it. She finds the hat, then boom! A bomb goes off, nuking the shop with the poor girl still inside. The mom starts screaming and sobbing, ready to dive into the fire, but a guy holds her back because the area is dangerous as F. The news spreads faster than a toxic ex changing their relationship status. People are already blaming vegan terrorists. Right on cue, the ALA drops a video claiming responsibility. They explain their acronym and send a keep that same energy message to the meat eaters and animal exploiters, telling everyone to listen to the cries of species oppressed by humans. At school, the students are thirsty for drama, stalking government notifications on their phones. The mastermind is definitely the ALA. The teacher tells everyone to put their phones away and focus, but literally nobody is paying attention. She explains that the ALA is the same group that found Charlie 15 years ago. They've been camping in the shadows for years, and now they've suddenly gone full aggro. Charlie's parents are stressed out of their minds and speedrun to the school to pick him up. The whole school is whispering about him. One girl gets so fed up with the gossip that she walks out, seeing Charlie leaving with his dad. But before they can bounce, the police chief pulls up out of nowhere and invites them to the office for a little tea and interrogation session. Back at home, Charlie's mom is fuming because the police chief had a major L attitude, treating her son like a terrorist even though she's a literal lawyer. Dad asks where Charlie is, and mom says he's exhausted so she sent him to sleep. Dad is worried and wants to pull Charlie out of school for good just to be safe. Hannah, the mom, defends Charlie, arguing that being a vegan or an activist doesn't mean you're a terrorism enjoyer. Bert, the dad, is more of a realist. He's worried the brain-dead internet mob will direct their smoke at innocent people and everything will go south soon. He brings up a horrific incident from 10 years ago. Right then, Charlie spawns in and drops a bombshell: "I'm still going to school." At school, Charlie is being treated like an alien. Everyone suspects him of having main character ties to the terrorists. Cut to the ALA squad, who are shook that Charlie is still going to school like nothing happened despite the drama. They still can't believe he's the same fetus from that chimpanzee 15 years ago. A few of them want to go give their idol a hug, but the cops are camping the area so hard they have to cancel the plan. One guy in the group swears he'll force Charlie to join their side, giving him zero choice. Meanwhile, students are crying over their friend who got blown up. A guy named AZ sees Charlie eating lunch peacefully like a NPC and gets triggered, storming over to ask how he can be so chill right now. While everyone is busy capping about how the vegans are ruining the city, Lucy appears like a girl boss goddess, declaring that the group isn't even on Charlie's level. One guy claps back, saying they have the right to ask because of freedom of speech, and since Charlie was saved by the ALA, he's definitely SUS. Lucy is tired of the nonsense and tells Charlie to just ignore the haters, dragging him away. Later, Charlie doubles back and drops a savage line: he doesn't give a damn what they eat as long as they aren't trash people. He's vegan because he likes it, period, no need to switch up. He tells them they can go ahead and eat birds, cows, pigs, fish, or even go cannibal, he won't judge. AZ is completely shook, calling Charlie insane. Charlie enters philosophy professor mode, asking why humans aren't allowed to kill and eat each other. If the reason is to avoid causing pain, well, any animal with a nervous system feels pain too. Why are humans the limited edition exception? Another guy tries to argue some weak logic, saying humans are just built different. Charlie asks, different how exactly? Trev is stunned, his brain literally lagging. AZ realizes he's losing the debate, so he pulls the discrimination card, telling the others to stop talking to the half-human half-ape because his brain is running on a different operating system anyway. The two leave and run into a guy named Gale, a self-proclaimed ally who advises Charlie to stay low. He praises Charlie's words for being deep but tells him to GTFO before it turns into another verbal combat session. Lucy takes Charlie to their secret base meant for skipping class. Charlie is super grateful, but Lucy tells him he needs to change his home address ASAP because this town is toxic and doomed. Lucy herself is done with this place. She asks why his family hasn't moved. Charlie drops some biology facts, comparing humans to ants. From far away, they look like a unit, but up close, everyone's got a different vibe. Some are lazy, some are plotting, some just want to trade. Same DNA, but different builds. Lucy was vibing with the deep talk until Charlie pivoted to ants, leaving her a bit bruh. Charlie gets personal, saying he rarely left the house and only knew his parents and the world through books and the internet. But observing humans up close? He thinks they're interesting as F. Going to school is way better than rotting at home. Lucy starts wheezing at how salty and funny Charlie is and asks for his socials so they can be mutuals. Back home, the cops are still trailing Charlie like a stalker. A rookie cop asks why they're camping him so hard, since his own kid is a huge Charlie stan. The old boss pulls him aside to tell an internal horror story. He recalls years ago when they had 1,000 troops guarding just one chimp. Just when they're exhausted, the alarm goes off. The boss witnessed some Ohio-level craziness when a 5-year-old chimp sent 7 buff police officers straight to the hospital. The rookie cop looks like he's seen a ghost. The boss adds that those officers retired immediately after, including his best friend. The whole thing was hushed up, and Charlie vanished from the media to kill the drama. There are definitely some high-tier lawyers gatekeeping this case. The boss ends by saying he doesn't know if the kid is a terrorist, but that monster shouldn't even exist on this Earth server. Cut to Lucy at home, chatting with Charlie. Suddenly, a random stranger bumps into her, asking if she knows Charlie. Lucy goes full security mode, asking why he wants to know. The guy claims he's from the research institute. Lucy tries to ghost him and tells him to go find someone else to bother, but he grabs her attention. Lucy tries to tell him to beat it and let the water stay clear, but the guy begs her to wait. Then he asks a painfully deep question: why does an ape-man even exist in this world? Lucy gets the creeps, thinking he's a stalker. The guy calmly points to her bike with her name on it. He claims he just wants to ask a few questions, saying he's a staff member from the lab where Charlie was born and visits every year for his checkup. The guy asks if Charlie's been valid lately. Lucy honestly spills the tea, saying the reformists at school are giving him a hard time and the drama is overflowing. But Charlie is just unfazed by the chaos, not giving a single thought to the nonsense. She ends with a legendary metaphor: Charlie is like a bat, he helps her see the world through a totally different operating system. The guy nods, impressed by the answer, and then vanishes into thin air. Back at home, Lucy tells Charlie about the weird encounter. Charlie says he doesn't know the dude, but confirms he actually does work at the institute, predicting he'll show up again tomorrow. Scene shifts to Charlie's house. Mom sees him on his phone and asks who he's spilling tea with. Charlie says it's a friend. Hearing the word friend, Mom is over the moon, like, OMG, my son finally stopped being a shut-in and joined society. She's dying to know what the young couple is talking about. But she remembers she has to respect his privacy, so she tries to keep it low-key and doesn't ask to see. Charlie is totally chill about it, telling her she can look if she wants since he's got nothing to hide. The next day, Lucy gets carried to the lab. The big boss there asks her about the mystery man she met yesterday. After Lucy describes the guy, the big boss drops a reality check, stating firmly that the institute has 0 employees like that. Oh snap, it was an imposter. Things are getting sus. After that, Charlie's dad invites Lucy over for dinner because Charlie's foster mom is curious to meet the legendary friend. While they're having a good time, the dad asks if she wants to meet Eva. Lucy is confused, asking which neighbor is Eva? Charlie deadpans that she's his biological mother. When they get there, Lucy is shook to the core, her mouth wide open as she discovers the shocking truth: the mother chimp, Eva, is still very much alive. What's up, squad? Episode 3 of the Darwin incident just dropped, let's get into it. While that extremist group ALA is out here plotting to kidnap Charlie for their political clout, our HUMANZEE main character is just vibing, using his big brain and muscles to dodge every curveball life throws at him. The higher-ups finally set up a fated meeting between Charlie and his biological mom, Eva the chimp. Everyone expected some tear-jerking reunion, but Charlie stayed cold as ice. He straight up told them that to him, Eva is just a female chimp who gave birth to him, 0 mommy issues, 0 emotional connection. But real talk, Eva's life has been a total tragic protagonist arc, monkey version. When she was a baby, hunters snatched her up and sent her parents to the lobby permanently. After that, she was traded like a Pokemon through various zoos and circuses across Europe before landing a permanent spot at a bio-research lab in California. That's where the director at the time, Dr. Grossman, realized Eva had infinite IQ. She could understand abstract concepts and was even out here writing poetry. Grossman's obsession with her was so extra that the staff started whispering that the boss had a crush on a chimp. But then came the ultimate plot twist: Grossman wasn't just playing around, he went full mad scientist. He secretly used gene editing tech on himself and Eva to spawn Charlie. After the attack 15 years ago, Grossman pulled a disappearing act, deleting all the data before ghosting everyone and leaving behind the mystery of why he created this hybrid species. Lucy, being an innocent soul, asked if they could just ask Eva directly, but Director Fowler explained that the birth fried Eva's brain permanently. Now she's got lower stats than a regular chimp and has to stay in the lab forever. However, right before the group bounced, Eva suddenly arranged some alphabet and number cards into a cryptic sequence. Fowler brushed it off as a random glitch, but with that female lead intuition, Lucy is convinced this mama chimp is trying to drop a prophecy. Putting the sadness aside, Lucy accepted Bertie's invite for dinner at Charlie's place. Hannah, the lawyer mom, was radiating future mother-in-law energy, giving Lucy a warm welcome and serving up a massive vegan feast. Lucy was enjoying the vibes while Hannah low-key interrogated her about how Charlie's been doing at school. Mid-meal, Lucy dropped a total philosophy bomb by asking the parents if she should go full vegan. She was wondering if being vegan is healthy and moral, and if that's why those ALA terrorists are acting out. Hannah immediately set the record straight: this house doesn't force anyone to eat grass, and using violence to make people eat veggies is a major crime. That's when Bertie stepped in with some main character wisdom. He told Lucy that if going vegan makes her conscience feel clean, she should just go for it, maybe start small with 1 meal a day or week. The point is, doing something is better than doing nothing. He also kept it 100, admitting that eating salad doesn't automatically make you a saint. In this modern world, basically every product we use is low-key linked to animal sacrifice, so humans can never truly escape the exploiter label. He dropped a legendary truth bomb: since everyone is an animal abuser in some sense, vegans have 0 right to act holier than thou or judge others. Sounds pretty black-pilled, right? Lucy got worried and asked what the point of being vegan even is then. Bertie just gave a chill smirk and said we don't need to be saints, but we aren't cold-blooded killers either, we're just regular NPCs trying to level up and be slightly better humans. That big brain explanation totally cleared Lucy's head and removed all the mental blocks she had about Charlie's foster family, regardless of the ALA terrorists moving mad outside. After that cozy dinner, Lucy realized she'd been a total noob for thinking vegans were just a bunch of grumpy, old-fashioned boomers. Turns out, Charlie's fam is actually chill AF, just like normal people. With a full stomach and good vibes, Lucy excitedly headed upstairs to check out Charlie's room, completely unaware that level 82 of her life's struggles was literally camping outside. The ALA Suicide Squad, aka the Animal Liberation Alliance, was already lying in wait. The boss issued a cold-blooded order: delete everyone except Charlie. His plan was to make Charlie taste ultimate loneliness so he'd have 0 support system left and would be forced to join their terrorist group. Even though the boss warned them that Charlie once sent 7 cops to the hospital, the henchmen, who were literally former US Army majors, just laughed it off, thinking catching a monkey would be light work. But they were majorly capping. With hearing that's 10,000 times more crack than a human's, Charlie heard the lock clicking. He lunged out and yelled to alert his foster dad, Bertie. Dad's reflexes were insane. he snatched a kitchen knife off the island and parried the first sneak attack like a pro. At the same time, another goon rushed upstairs to finish Lucy. In a split second, Charlie grabbed Lucy and yeeted her straight downstairs to get her out of the line of fire, even if the move looked a bit like tossing a sack of rice. The combat officially popped off. Charlie jump-spun and landed a flying kick right to the face of the guy downstairs, leaving him completely dazed. Just as Lucy landed like a fallen fruit, the other guy charged in, thirsty for blood. But Charlie wasn't having any of it. He faced them with "It's your trash" energy. The guy got triggered and tried to throw hands, but Charlie put him in a lock immediately. The other goon saw his buddy struggling and tried to make it a 2v1, thinking they could jump him. But Charlie's moves were straight out of a Bruce Lee movie. His reflexes and parries were smoother than sunsilk. Seizing the moment, he used his foot to yank the rug, sending both goons flying, before backflipping to his parents. Charlie told his mom, Hannah, to call the cops and report 3 intruders. This specific detail made the boss, who was still lurking outside, absolutely geek out. He was hyped because Charlie is so big brain. Even though he only saw 2 guys inside, he deduced there was a third one camping outside. He swore right then he'd catch him and keep him at all costs. Knowing the cops were closing in, the boss cut the power, leaving the whole house pitch black. Using the darkness as a smokescreen, the assassins vanished into thin air. By the time the lights flickered back on, they were long gone. Charlie's fam and Lucy had to pull an all-nighter at the police station to give their statements. Worst luck ever, the pro robbers had fried the security system, so the cameras caught 0 footage. The cops basically checked out and labeled it a generic, botched robbery homicide. But the drama didn't end there. Lucy's mom, a total single mom Karen archetype, stormed into the station. Seeing her daughter almost get deleted because of her ape-man ties, the mom went full nuclear, banning Lucy from ever breathing the same air as Charlie again. She roasted Lucy for lying about being at the library when she was actually out hanging with a monkey, and even threatened to sue the school. Finally, she literally dragged her daughter home, leaving Charlie's family completely stunned. A while later, Charlie headed back to school because his foster parents figured there was safety in numbers, especially since the police were officially trashed here at protecting them. At school, Lucy had to ghost Charlie in public, only dare messaging him to meet up on the DL at the park during lunch. During their secret date, Lucy explained that her mom is a school board member, a literal Nepo mom with major clout, and she's pressuring the school to kick Charlie out. To save his spot, Lucy had to pinky promise her mom she'd cut him off. From now on, they're basically guerrilla-style besties. Even though the attack was over, Lucy was still traumatized. Seeing her stress out, Charlie innocently asked if anxiety just means worrying about bad stuff in the future. He was like, but we're safe right now, so why not just wait for the bad stuff to actually happen before we stress? Charlie's no thoughts, head empty logic made Lucy wheeze, telling him that if everyone thought like that, every therapist in America would be unemployed. Even though he doesn't quite get human emotions, Charlie could tell Lucy was not vibe-ing. He dropped a final question: if the bad guys get caught, you'll feel safe, right? Lucy nodded. Right then, Charlie's brain cells calculated a bold plan. He was going to reverse hunt the hunters. Cut to the ALA hideout. The major was nursing his arm that Charlie almost unsubscribed from his body. The boss was still yapping about how perfect Charlie is, glazing him for having the muscle of a chimp mixed with a human's galaxy brain. Since the cops were camping Charlie's house, the boss decided to switch tactics to a direct kidnapping. But man proposes, God disposes. Just as he finished talking, the base door got absolutely wrecked. Charlie spawned in, ready to catch these guys catch these hands style. Turns out, great minds think alike. The villains were planning to snatch Charlie, but Charlie self-delivered to check on their health. He declared he wanted a fair 1v1 against the antagonists. Charlie is officially standing on business. That's it for episode 3. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next drop. Bye-bye. Following the high-voltage cliffhanger of the last episode, Charlie decided to go full beast mode, riding solo straight into the ALA hideout to check their vibes. As soon as they met, Charlie cut straight to the Chazino cap, no stalling. He bluntly declared, "You clowns attacked my house and made my foster parents and my rumored girlfriend Lucy suffer enough. So, do me a favor and walk yourselves to the police station to turn yourselves in, before I have to actually put hands on you." The lieutenant, a total boomer snake in the terrorist world, started sneaking his hand behind his back, trying to pull a piece for a dirty play. He was pressed, wondering how Charlie even tracked down this rat hole. Charlie, unfazed, entered Detective Conan mode to explain. Turns out, since they were wounded but too scaredy cat to hit a real hospital, there was only one underground spot in this middle-of-nowhere town selling black-market antibiotics. Charlie just camped there, spotted the first SUS-looking guy, and trailed him all the way home. Not done yet, Charlie dealt a psychological damage blow by saying identifying them was easy as pie. Everyone has a unique gait, and your walk literally reams of gunpowder and sketchiness. I caught your terrorist frequency instantly. Then he dropped the ultimatum: 1, you turn yourselves in. 2. I use physical intervention to leave you permanently paralyzed and then drag your bodies to the precinct myself. Pro tip: don't be stupid enough to pull a gun. If I accidentally slap you too hard, don't go crying that I'm the villain. Hearing this infinite IQ analysis mixed with Charlie's overwhelming aura, the villains were low-key shaking, their faces turning pale. Knowing they had zero chance of winning against this monster, they played the delay card, faking an agreement to get in the car and turn themselves in. In the car, the tension was suffocating, peak exam room energy. Charlie turned to the boss and asked a fatal question: why did you plan to delete my whole family the other day but left me as the sole survivor? Getting to the heart of the matter, the boss started his multi-level marketing, gaslighting routine. He told him, because you're limited edition, a one of one. You aren't an ape, and you definitely aren't a human. No matter how much your foster parents love you, or how close that girl Lucy gets to you, in the eyes of this prejudiced human society, you're just a talking PETA glorified toy for their entertainment. As a hybrid, your bloodline ends with you, you have no civil rights and zero future. To put it bluntly, the human title they give you is just some hollow clout they use to feel better about themselves. This injustice needs a patch, and we at the ALA are the saviors who will help you find your true value. Responding to that passionate speech, Charlie immediately doused him in ice-cold water. He said, I don't see myself as anything special or superior. You, me, or the cats and dogs out there, at our core, we're all just living beings on this planet. Seeing that his word salad wasn't working and he couldn't out-logic Charlie's brain, the boss signaled his goon to floor the gas. While faking like he agreed with Charlie, he suddenly pulled a knife and shanked the driver straight through the heart. A total snake move faster than a toxic ex switching up. Before the car lost control and sped off like a rocket, he and the lieutenant jumped out to safety, leaving a total mess behind. The horrific crash in the middle of the street instantly caught the attention of the fuzz. Charlie, thanks to his built-different tanky body, didn't have a scratch. He even dragged the dying driver out and performed professional-level first aid like a literal surgeon. But when the cops arrived, they didn't check the facts or investigate the scene. They saw a monster and immediately scapegoated Charlie as the root of all evil and the culprit behind the chaos, slapping the cuffs on him and dragging him away while the viewers were left shook. In another scene, the two ALA ringleaders were quickly doxxed on the news. Their old hideout got raided by the police in a heartbeat, and their henchmen got bagged without missing a single one. The boss was stressed out of his mind, worried that the driver, Mr., might still be alive and spill the tea on the organization's secrets. But the lieutenant stayed chill, reassuring him that Mr. is built different and used to get tortured on the regular back in the day without ever folding's not about to sell out the squad now. These two old heads still refuse to go legit. They're currently lurking on the Red Pill channel to recruit some new NPCs for their next scheme. A few days after Charlie got bagged, rumors started flying everywhere like feathers in shedding season. Lucy, completely ignoring her mom's ban, hopped the fence and rushed to Charlie's house to get the tea on the situation. Hannah and Bert, Charlie's foster parents, gave her a warm welcome. They told her the whole story from start to finish, how Charlie took it upon himself to confront the terrorists before the cops could even move. Even though the kid actually saved a life, since the two ringleaders escaped, the fuzz are out here suspecting Charlie of pulling a collab and conspiring with the terrorists to stage the whole crime scene. The police have their reasons for being sus, but Lucy was absolutely fuming, her blood boiling. Charlie has been locked in that cage for 10 days straight. It's crystal clear they're treating him like a high-tier dangerous criminal. At that moment, Hannah dropped a line that hits right in the feels. I wish he actually was a criminal, it would be easier. It sounds delulu, but it's actually peak logic. If he were a human criminal, Charlie would have the right to a lawyer, the right to remain silent, and basic human rights. But in this case, Charlie has zero rights, and he doesn't even fit into the protected categories of wildlife conservation laws. Legally speaking, Charlie is just viewed as an objective piece of property registered under Hannah and Bert's names. Right now, the kid is being treated as evidence seized by the police, just like they'd confiscate a knife or a gun, because there isn't a single law on the books to gatekeep his safety. Taking this chance, Hannah and Bert opened up to Lucy about why they were so dead set on making Charlie go to school despite knowing the risks. Turns out, 10 years ago, Charlie the Ape Man was basically a national idol. Everywhere he went, the spotlight followed, and everyone was obsessed with him. The couple even enrolled him in a high-end, Gucci preschool. At first, everything was smooth sailing, and it looked like life was going to be living the dream. But a horrific incident went down during a school swimming session. Some low-IQ kids were acting up and decided to play a prank by holding Charlie's head underwater. Survival instincts kicked in, and Charlie entered slaughter mode, using physical force that left those kids absolutely wrecked. When the fuzz arrived, Charlie was still in a state of extreme stress and total panic. Seeing the cops pointing guns at him and overhearing them threaten to lock him up or even dissect him for research, Charlie went full main character rage and charged in for a bloodbath. Unable to control his fictional tear power, Charlie solo carried the entire map against the cops, leaving them absolutely folded. It was only after his mana ran dry and he hit total exhaustion that they managed to bag him. Even though the family pulled some strings behind the scenes to keep it off the news, the price was heavy. Charlie was put under house arrest, serving a 10-year-long suspended sentence trapped inside those four walls. This whole mess gave Hannah a major reality check. The world only views Charlie as a fun mascot. When he's cute, they stan him, but the moment he gets tilted or things get messy, they switch up instantly and treat him like a monster. Charlie needs the right to self-defense, the right to freedom, and the right to live and work like a real human being. That's why they forced him to go to school. The goal was to buff his profile and prove that Charlie can vibe with society, has a brain, and can live peacefully with humans. Hannah and Bert's ultimate goal is to slap this stack of hard evidence in the government's face to demand a legal ID and full citizenship for Charlie. This play is high stakes. It's the gamble of a lifetime, and failing is not an option. After hearing the story, Lucy's brain was buzzing with adrenaline and that main character energy. She made a bold declaration: "I'm benching my mom's orders right now. I'm joining the squad to fight for ape-man rights. We're going to make history and set a precedent that's never been seen before." Hannah was moved to tears, giving Lucy a massive hug because she finally found someone on the same wavelength who truly understood her family's struggle. The whole team, hyped and ready for battle, pulled up to the police station. But reality hit different. The deputy chief cold-shouldered them with a hard no, banning them from seeing Charlie. The old man only allowed them to sign some papers to get back a few personal items. According to the law, Charlie is now evidence in a terrorism case, a key exhibit. The police aren't about to waste time granting visitation rights to an inanimate object. He then dropped a bombshell that left everyone stunned. Once the paperwork is processed, that Martian creature will be confiscated and become state property. Stop deluding yourselves. Hearing the news like a bolt from the blue, Lucy lost her cool and tried to Leroy Jenkins her way into the jail cell to see Charlie, but the cops caught her lacking immediately. In a moment of desperation, surrounded by the fuzz, Lucy suddenly screamed out a cryptic line, "Auntie," and that's the end of episode 4. The plot is getting spicy, right? Give the shop a like and subscribe to keep the motivation going. Bye bye.